Just want to say, on behalf of everyone, thank you for putting together an amazing event, a very generous thing that you're doing for everyone here. And I know everybody has been enjoying the videos. So, if people want to come to the one next year, how can they find it?
Well, I'll be posting videos when I find out more. When this event's over, I'm looking at some property up in Lake Havasu. One piece is going to be 20 acres, and see what the adjacent lots, if they're available too, to potentially get those as the build grows. But it's looking like, in all likelihood, we'll just put this on private land next time, our private land, not somebody else's. And we won't have to deal with permits or collecting fees from people every time, and then have those fees just go to government bureaucracies instead of land that we could have been owning with it, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I really like Lake Havasu. Probably going to keep it in Lake Havasu, but I still have to suss out the property and how that's all going to work out.
And if you guys want to come to the next one, check out Enigmatic Nomadic's channel. He posts all the information for it. Stay in touch. Come out to the van build. You can meet really cool people from all walks of life out here.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, man. Thanks, Jack, for coming to the event. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. It's been awesome.
And I really like your channel.
I like yours more. We're gonna hopefully talk to two very interesting people who are full-time, let's see, vehicle dwellers, RV dwellers, travelers, and one of them is Chris. Chris from Germany, or?
Yes.
Okay. And would you tell us what you do in this RV?
Okay, I live full-time in this RV now, and I'm a video game composer. So I've been doing that for 31 years. I started out with one of these, Commodore 64, and that was at the end of the 80s. And the reason why I got this is I always wanted to own a synthesizer, but when I was young I couldn't afford one, so the Commodore 64 was the next best thing because it has a synthesizer sound chip. And then I started programming, I made music with it, and ended up working for games and made game music ever since.
Yeah, and could you briefly describe the setup here? Like what is all this stuff? What can you do with it?
So yeah, that's my workspace, my studio space. So I got my keyboard here where I can play. Let's see if I got something.
Interesting. So you make the music for video games?
Yes.
Interesting. And you're full-time in the RV?
Correct, yeah.
I'm imagining...
I used to live in the Bay Area in a house with my wife, and we decided to have an adventure, and we sold the house and got on the road. First in a big Class A diesel, and now I have this, which is a little bit more flexible.
Yeah. So what are some of the difficulties of being in a vehicle and doing the video game composing?
Actually not that much. I don't have a lot of drawbacks. Particularly now I got 640 watts of solar, so I can run all this equipment all day on the solar and still charge the batteries and have some capacity for the night.
That's amazing. And what's your favorite part about being in an RV?
It's just you can have your view can change every day if you want. You can park at the Grand Canyon or whatever and have this wonderful view, and that inspires me also to make music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you miss your mortgage or your rent?
No, I don't miss that. Absolutely not. No, this is actually a pretty economical way to live, and at the same time also meet a lot of interesting people like yourself and others, and just experience the country, because in the Bay Area we were essentially like sitting in a house constantly.
Mm-hmm. Indoors a lot, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a lot more outdoor living and adventure, and it's got challenges, absolutely, but it's also exciting and fun.
Yeah. Now, I know that rents in the Bay Area are very high for
Insane.
people. Yeah. It's hard for a young person to even afford an apartment or a room there.
Absolutely.
Would you recommend a van or something like that to them in the city?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a way to deal with the housing prices. but you probably would need a plan. You know, you need some income and stuff like that to really make it work.
Yeah. I wouldn't say to anyone who wants to just be lazy or homeless, but this is a fantastic way to cut your expenses and have more enjoyment with your job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's cool.
So one thing also I would like to do, I have a lot of fans from like the 80s till now that support my music, and I worked on some games that got famous at that time.
Which ones?
Well, there were some early games in the end of the 80s. One is the Giana Sisters, which is a big franchise that has been ported to the PC a couple years ago, so that's pretty well known. By the way, my cat's up there. I don't know what she's doing. I have never seen her up there. Okay, anyway, so another well-known is actually in the early 2000s I worked on the Star Wars franchise on Nintendo.
Wow.
The Star Wars Rogue Squadron series.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And and then now I also do a lot of music just for fun, not for games. And I've got a Patreon going, and fans are supporting me for the music and stuff like that. And if you want, I can play one of the pieces.
Sure.
So this is inspired by a little bit inspired by Blade Runner. So.
Oh, that's so cool. So, you don't quite fit the RV, like the RVer in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have this incredible setup here, and you're not like a retiree.
Right.
Not that everybody is retired in the RVs, but you're actively working in a mobile home, essentially, like a home that you can drive different places.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things, as I said, is I felt kind of stuck up there in the house. Didn't really travel a lot, and I wanted to actually experience the country. And I would probably not have done it if I hadn't gone to Burning Man. I was in 2014 the first time there, and I saw a whole different way of thinking and experiencing things. And then I discovered YouTube channels like yours and Bob Wells and others, and that really inspired me to think about, hey, there's more to life than just sitting in his house working for the mortgage.
Yeah.
And it's really like freedom. It's total freedom. You don't like a place, you just go somewhere else.
Yeah. Exactly.
And also I didn't want to wait until you're retired and maybe your body craps out on you to experience this, because it is a little bit of there's some physical challenges doing this. When you have to go to the dump or whatever, it's like there's physical activities that you don't have in the house usually. So I didn't want to be like 70 and not being able to do this and then regretting that I haven't done it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard of the story about the Mexican fisherman?
No.
Yeah.
I should look that up.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's about enjoying the moment versus working your life and then being able to retire later, so then you can enjoy the moment.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about enjoying it now, basically.
Yeah. Totally.
Cool.
Could I take?
Very
Yes.
Very nice chatting with you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.